Hey, welcome to chapter 6. So chapter 6 is going to be a little bit different because I got a lot of projects going on in this time of my life, and this is going to be a little bit of like a glue episode. It's going to glue a whole bunch of moving parts together. So it's basically, I was running too many things at once. I had rapid web design, which was another video that you can check about that running. I had long life lighting going. I also then started a whole bunch of little side projects, which I'll talk about a little bit more in this video. And there was just a lot of moving parts going on. And so what happened is I had this massive amount of guilt that if I felt stuck at rapid web design because people's domains were with me, their hosting was with me. And I guess I learned that, it's best that business owners hold the keys to their cars and not me. And so a lot of times web design agencies and hosting companies, like they will have all your hosting and your domain names. And it's good in one way because a lot of business owners back then had no idea what all this was and it was a bit complex, and they would let domain names, not renew, and then their website would go down. But what it also meant is that you're kind of stuck and trapped. And so I had all these hosting plans, domain name renewals, care plans, looking after people's websites, making changes. And I felt really stuck in rapid web design. And so the only way that I felt comfortable exiting that chapter or that business was to merge it with another company. And so a friend of mine at the time, he was also running online business, and he had this idea of doing an agency that gave back to the community. And so it was called Kudos Digital. So for every digital project that happened, then Kudos would go back to a non-for-profit or into a community. It was very similar to like how Grilled now has those little tokens. And so like web projects, web domains, hosting would create Kudos points, and those Kudos points would go to projects. It was really cool. I loved the idea, and I kind of jumped on board, helped him kind of grow that. And I was running rapid web design and helping him with Kudos Digital and long life lighting all at the same time. And so then we merged those two businesses together. And so all the clients from Rapid Web Design got merged into Kudos Digital. And then the team there were able to keep everything else online and going. And I've never really heard anything from any of those clients. So I assume everything has been good and everyone got passed on into good hands after that. So it was a really big kind of learning curve for me of like, how do I make sure I don't get stuck in a company or stuck with a business? And also how to do the right thing when you need to exit or leave. I just wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing that I put all that stress and pain onto other people. And, I could have probably just sent an email and say, hey, you need to find a new hosting provider and domain name provider, and everything would have been good. But yeah, I just really struggled with that. And so this merge was like the best logical step, that it all kind of got absorbed. I moved on. That allowed me to focus a lot more on long life lighting. And then, I guess because like I always have I have these little ideas and I want to get them done. So during this time, I also started another online business. I really wanted to create a service or a platform or something that just kind of took care of itself. So in this time, the website called Dig was quite popular, where you would like vote up articles, and when you dug something, it would go up the leaderboard. And so I made a clone of that website, but I did it for like competitions and ways of finding, ways to win things or save money, coupons. It actually, Oz Bargains is probably what I was originally building back then, but that didn't exist, or Aussie Deals, I can't remember, it's called Oz Bargain, I think it's called. But it was more for competitions, and it was actually affiliate marketing. So there would be directories that like, Australia Post might be running a competition, and they would give you $2 per lead. So I'd put that onto the marketplace. People would go and enter the competition. Every time they entered, the competition would go up, and I would get money. And so I was trying to find ways of setting up affiliate marketing websites where there would also be user-generated content, so users could generate competitions that they found. Now, UGC, or user-generated content, was not even a term back then, but there was platforms and forums like Dig where you could submit an article and people would post it up, and it would go up the leaderboard, and then it would get more attention. And I just thought that was a really cool concept because it was like built by the community for the community, and that aligned with my values. So that was called didiwin.com.au, and yeah, you were able to just enter competitions, and I was coding this platform myself using a base script of like a dig clone, and then editing it using PHP and kind of teaching myself how to code and teach that. So that was really fun. But that was another little side project that was happening there. And then another thing I did as well is I came across in this era of my life as well, I was very big on like personal development and manifestation and like attracting. I think the movie Law of Attraction, or The Secret came out. It was all about the law of attraction and manifesting. And I found this guy in Australia that was printing like these novelty $1 million notes, and you could customize them and edit them. So I tweaked them a little bit, and I started an online website and selling them actually on, I think Gumtree or eBay was probably a better move than having my own website, but it was called myfirstmillion.com.au. And it's quite weird because now there is a massive podcast called My First Million. What year was this? Let me quickly check. My First Million would have been in 2010. So 15 years ago. I was 25. And so, yeah, I wanted to... it's just dawned on me that I probably have some. Do I want a mid-video edit? Yes. Oh my God. And I'm back with the evidence. I totally forgot that I had these in the drawer, but this is what they look like. They're basically $1 million note that looked like an Australian $100 note, and it had still not heaps of them, but I got thousands of these, and I was selling them in bundles of like, do you want to attract 1 million or like 3 million or 5 million? And the whole idea was like to have these in your wallet as a reminder of like what you're working towards. Back then, vision boards, dream books were very big. And so, yeah, I've still got some of these. Again, as I said in my last video, I'm quite nostalgic and like to hold on to things that I probably don't need to. But it's always nice when I'm like talking about something where I can kind of pull something out and do a show and tell. So this was another side project. So I always had a lot of things going on, and that's why I kind of needed this little video to kind of glue a whole bunch of threads. And so, it's at this point here in like, I'm getting to 26, it's 2011, and 2011, and a whole bunch of things going on. And that's probably one of the reasons why also Long Life Lighting hit a bit of a plateau in that last year. We kind of did the same revenue, is because there was just way too many things going on. And this is probably where I learned, you got to keep the main thing. And so having fingers in multiple pies, and I sometimes still think I haven't learned that, because I do get easily interested in like new projects. I love the nuance of like building something. I love, coming up with an idea of like, there could be a website to help discover you to find competitions, and then I go build it. And then, what about if I can make like a novelty? I remember having this idea and then discovering that someone else had already done it. And I was like, well, let's not reinvent the wheel. This person already does like customization, so I just customize it. You could actually get your own face on it, which I think is a bit weird. I think it was made more for like networking and turning them into a business card. I just kind of have these ideas maybe in the shower a lot of times, or while I'm walking or driving, and then I'd go and create it. And I'm doing the same thing now with AI. Like I have ideas and I'm like vibe coding apps just from like a shower thought. And so it's still a very common pattern for me. But when I have an idea or an itch, I kind of really want to like scratch at it and get it done, and just kind of see it come to life and then go, okay, well, that was cool. It was nice to like, it's my artistry, I think. Like, how sometimes people paint a canvas and they're like, I want to paint a bridge, and they paint the bridge. And it's like, cool. And then sometimes they're halfway and they're like, the bridge is not finished, the background's not done. I think that was me as well. I had digital artistry in me. And so I'd have half-baked online projects everywhere. My First Million was one of those. And so was the didiwin.com.au. And there's probably other little projects that I've totally forgotten about in that mix. But that kind of leads me into like, once I'm now about 27 and like 2012 rolls around, and the next video is going to be my kind of first big marketing agency role, and where I do climb that corporate ladder quite quickly. And I also get distracted in that one and start a side hustle as I'm looking at my notes here of my timeline. So yeah, let me just make sure I've covered everything on this one. I think that's yeah, that I think that does a good job of kind of gluing the next couple of years of multiple different projects all overlap together there. So yeah, look forward to seeing you in the next video.